we live?
Welcome to the We On One podcast.
Welcome to the We On One podcast, hosted by David the Capo.
Welcome to the We On One podcast, hosted by David the Capo.
Tune in to the We On One podcast, hosted by David the Capo.
Welcome back to the We On One podcast, hosted by David the Capo. Today, I am joined with a very special guest, my brother, Jiggy Bars.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you having me out, man. I've been excited for this interview.
Yeah, bro, we've been talking about doing this interview since like middle February.
Facts.
You know, and I hate calling it an interview, bro, because like with my podcast, bro, I really try to do more like of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is like the first podcast that I'm doing with like a professional setup, and I felt like it was only right. You know,
Yeah,
so
facts.
thank you so much for being here and you know going through the growing pains with me, bro.
Facts. Thank you for joining and being a part of our community. You know, this is what we preach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's only right that we bring you in.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like we went to high school together. We're from the same hometown, you know?
Yeah,
So it's always like I'm always gonna look out. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, bro, because like it's like we were talking about, you know, before we even press record, we were already podding, bro. We was
Facts.
already getting into it. But it's like we said, like there's not really a lot of people where we come from that like do the media shit.
Real shit.
It's more like, you know, if they do the little local rap shit, they do like, you know, and all that, and then that's what's up, like because you chase some fucking dreams.
Facts.
But it wasn't really like a setup and like a real, I don't know, how would you say, like a real community of it
Yeah,
there.
oh absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to do too. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to be not the face of it, but definitely help pioneer that shit where we're from.
Yeah, definitely help bring unity.
Yeah.
With me, like I'm so glad that I did not start my music career in Lake County around Lake, because it would have been like I would have got no progress. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I had to go away for several years before I came back with a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
And
So
then
let's start a little bit. So you're from Round Lake.
Yeah.
I'm from Round Lake. So I remember you from like middle school, high school and shit like that. But like really, when did you decide, wake up and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna start rapping? Or what was that like inspiration to become a rapper?
so I throughout high school, man, I was just more on my sports grind, you know, just trying to get into college, all that shit. Ended up going to college, and my first 2 years I played football. I was on the team, you know what I'm saying? I was on college. I was on the college campus, you know, we were doing our shit. I ended up linking up with my blood brother, who I always knew about, and it's crazy because people that I went to high school.
It's a crazy fucking story.
Yeah,
too,
it is,
bro.
because people I went to high school with had no idea that I had brothers. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, a brother that I was close with.
Yeah.
So like it was, I believe, my second year of college when I reconnected with Alan. And the crazy thing, so we have the same dad, different moms. We knew about each other. In grade school, we had one conversation on the phone and just forgot about each other. I'm not even gonna say we forgot about each other, but it was just in the back of our heads type shit.
Like life kept going.
Yeah, life kept going on, you know what I'm saying? And then it was my second year in college. I was literally, this was right before winter break. I was working at the rec center at my university, and I get a phone call from my aunt on my dad's side. Now, prior to this, I did not know anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody from my dad's side. I didn't even know what my dad looked like. I only knew I had the same name as him. That was all I knew growing up. And so I found his sister, my aunt, and she reached out to me and just kind of like flooded my social media. And she was just like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad to see how you've grown up, all of this. I'm your dad's sister and all this stuff. She had the same last name as me.
You didn't know her?
I didn't know her. I didn't know any. When I tell you, I knew my dad's side of the family was a mystery to me my whole life. So when I finally found her, through her, I found pretty much the rest of my dad's side of the family. All my other aunts, my cousins, my brothers and shit. So what was crazy, like we started talking, and she was like, once we got past the I'm your aunt, you know what I'm saying, I'm proud of you. She was like, she then told me, she was like, you have a lot of siblings. I don't know if you know or not, but you have a lot of siblings. And I was like, well, in the back of my head, I knew I have two. But she's like, no, you got a lot more than that. And so she was like, reach out to Tanya, which is Alan's mom, on Facebook. And I added her. And the craziest part, bro, I found my brother on Facebook that same day, but I didn't believe it was him. Because like, how do you, like, it's so weird, like growing up, not knowing anything about your dad's side of the family, and then out of nowhere just finding everybody.
Got a brother.
Yeah,
you got a brother, you got a sister, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, and for me, like I just didn't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what does my brother look like? I know he's light skinned. I know he's half Puerto Rican. Like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
was he like open arms to like?
Oh,
this,
absolutely, absolutely.
Because sometimes that should be a little funky. Like, you might know your dad might have like a family or something, or like a different. You have a sibling out there, and they're not really as receptive to be like.
Yeah, facts. So our dad was equally a piece of shit to everybody. So that made it a whole lot. There was no weird animosity or any weird feelings. Like, it was just excitement. It was pure excitement to know that we had more family out there. Bro. So back to the story. Like, that day, I ended up finding his mom. She had the same reaction my aunt had. She's flipping out. Oh my God, I haven't seen you since you were a baby. All of this stuff. She said, literally, call Alan. Here's his number. She sent me his number. I called him. And to this day, like, this was one of the most awkward conversations that I had. Calling my brother for the first time and telling him that it was me. Because it was like, you know what I'm saying? I called him and I was like, yo, I don't know if you remember me or not, but this is your blood brother, Chris. And then he was like, oh, what's up, dude? Like, just simple. And,
he's like, oh, what's up?
You know, so I'm like, well, shit, I go to school and college. I just talked to your mom. I'm in Chicago. Yeah. I live on the north side. And he's like, on the north side? No way. We just moved to the north side of Chicago. What's your address? And then, he had sent me his address and I put it in the GPS and it was 6 minutes away.
Damn.
So we're like, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, I get off of work in like 30 minutes. Let's link up and shit.
Yeah.
And he was actually in the suburbs at the time. So I took the blue line out to Rosemont. He picked me up from the train. And that was the first time that we ever like seen each other.
Connected and shit.
We were sitting in the car. I'll never forget that moment.
Was it weird? Was it like a weird, like you don't know what to say? Or is it just, or were you guys just like brothers? You guys just picked up, like you guys have never like left?
No, I say that it took a second. I'm not gonna say like the first couple hours were awkward. It was just a lot to take in. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm literally like, I got my own life. He has his own life. We just randomly collided into each other. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that and then he had a lot going on too. Because at the time he was shooting a video for D-Lo. Or he was dancing. So we ended up going to the studio. That was my first impression. Yeah, I'm literally in the studio watching him dance with D-Lo. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But it was really cool. That's when I linked back up with the rest of the fam. You know what I'm saying? I got to meet my nephew for the first time. My brother's other little sister and my other brother. And we just, we kicked it. You feel me? Went out to eat, just chilled. And then from that moment there to this point, like, me and Alan have been inseparable. Like, that first month being that we reconnected, this man was in my fucking apartment every day. We were drunk as fuck for a month straight, bro. But
and how long ago was this?
This was in 2015, like the start of 2015.
Damn. So it hasn't even been that long that you guys have just
6 years.
That's crazy, bro. And is he a rapper? What is he?
Yeah, so at the time he was still with the Future Kings. Okay. So he was just dancing. He was a musician, and then he had his first kid at that time. Okay. So
he was going through that transition too. Then as a man,
it was kind of like, when I tell you, like, that timing was like insane because it's always only been me and my mom my whole life. It's always just been me and her. I didn't know about any other family. You know what I'm saying? And so I started to have feelings of, loneliness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Being in college, being away from family, not knowing too many people, and then just randomly finding my brother. And then, like, that relationship just changed everything. Yeah. Like, if there was ever a moment that I felt like, man, I can't do this shit, I need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had my brother, you feel me? Like, I could literally talk to him about anything, and like, we could do that shit with each other. He was a young father at the time, so he had me to be able to help him out. I'm only 6 minutes away. I could go babysit my nephew whenever he needed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we reconnected at the perfect time.
That's like such a weird like story to hear, because it's like I grew up with my little brother, and I got 2 older brothers, and I got a whole bunch of siblings. So it's like, to think like, if for some reason we just didn't know we existed, and then all of a sudden you guys just like meet up, and then it's just kind of like, you've been wanting a brother, he's probably been wanting like a brother and shit like that, and then you finally just wake up one day and you have that.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. Cool. Like, I tell you, my life changed. Like, it did a full 360 within months, because I went from being a college football player. I never wanted to go to the league or anything. That was never my goal. I literally used football to get into college. Right. And so
and you have a funny story about how you got into college too, right?
Funny, yeah. It's just
it's like an unorthodox way.
It's definitely unorthodox. It's definitely unorthodox, because my grades were shit. Anybody that knows me in high school, I didn't give a fuck until literally I found out I could play college football. Then I was like, all right, I'll try. But literally, I had a 2.2 GPA and a fucking 17 ACT score in high school, and I got into a prestige university.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, with scholarships.
How'd you do that?
Because I was talking my shit, literally.
You just went in there. And
so what happened was they had a transitional program called Compass that
Yeah.
literally helped students from high school who had lower test scores and lower GPAs transition into college. So that was kind of one of the things that they presented to me, but it wasn't just they pick anybody type shit. You had to literally
earn that.
Yeah.
Earn
So
that scholarship.
how I did that is I literally sat down. I met with the president of the university while I was in high school. Bro,
Yeah.
literally with my mom. We sat there, and
so this is why you're still going to Round Lake and you're going back and forth from Round Lake to wherever
my
you
mom's
went.
still there. But yeah, I ended up just talking my shit, bro, and they saw that I was dedicated to changing. You know what I'm saying? They saw that I was, willing to do whatever it takes to better myself.
Yeah.
And like literally I spent a whole semester in the fucking library in high school.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't give a fuck about anything in high school, bro. But those last semesters, I was in there studying for the ACT retake. I was in there in the library making sure I had the best GPA possible. You feel me? And I transitioned so much that they ended up helping me out with a financial scholarship my first year.
That's dope as fuck, bro.
Yeah,
that's dope as fuck. And it's cool that like you went to college and you did that, because it's like, so did you go to college first and then you said, fuck it, I'm gonna become a rapper? Is it like one of those things where it's like in college you were rapping?
So I never necessarily started off rapping until I met my brother, which is crazy. Cause so like the second that I went to school to study communications and marketing. Yeah. So like the things that I was doing, I was already doing parties. I was never with any cultural club or anything on campus, but I always threw parties. Mm-hmm. And then I threw parties at bars and I started promoting. I got hired as a promoter. And then from there I started making music and I could throw my own shows. Yeah. So that's kind of, everything had like a trickling effect to it.
Kind of just right place, right time.
Yeah.
You were just making the right moves and shit at that time.
Yeah, facts. And I had everything that I needed business wise, like to start off. But being around my brother just unlocked the creativity in me. Yeah. Because I always knew I had it. But I just never had that confidence. And seeing somebody that literally was another version of me. Yeah. Doing it. Yeah, doing it. It's like, all right, now I got the confidence. And it was never like I was around him and he was ever like, no, that's not it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. He'll definitely be on my ass
he'll tell you
shit.
If some shit was.
But it was never discouraging. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was always like
he was building you up,
doing this instead. Try this instead of that. You know what I'm saying? And it was vice versa. Even though I wasn't necessarily in the music industry yet, I was just passionate about music. So I would be at his studio sessions, giving more constructive criticism than the engineers and shit. And then it got to the point where it's like, just try making music. You know what I'm saying? And I was already. I would say I was already a very emotional type of person. So like that outlet for me to be able to express myself was all I needed. Yeah.
And you felt like music was that?
Absolutely.
Was that for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. For sure. That along with promoting too, because I'm a people's person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember that. I do remember that, like you just being really like outgoing and shit like that in high school. Like you weren't really like, I don't know if I necessarily say like you were like a quiet kid, because I remember I would talk to you. Yeah, definitely. I would sit there and be like, oh, we were best friends and shit like that. But like, I know that we would talk to each other if we had the same class, or like, I know like some of your friends or some shit like that, we would have in common and things like that. So that's why like when I saw you that like, well, my first impression was like, oh shit, like Chris is a rapper. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, that's dope. And then I listened to your music and I was like, oh, he's a good rapper. So it's like, because you got like, obviously like, and then this isn't like to like discourage anybody from like where we're from, but like the people who rap, you can kind of tell like, okay, like they just do it as a side hobby. Mm-hmm. Some of them just do it to just do it. But like your energy and like your presence was just a little different. Mm-hmm. I would listen to your music and I'd be like, okay, he's taking that shit serious. It sounds good. The videos look good. Like he's pushing it. And he's not afraid to tell you like, hey, listen to my music. Do you think that like that came from just you as a kid growing up, just being like very personable, being very like outgoing? Did you consider yourself outgoing or no?
Yeah, I personally, I felt like I had to be, because me being an only child, I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that support in that way. So like, if I was ever in trouble, I was the one taking it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get a little bit more creative. And when it came to making friends, like when you have brothers and shit growing up, it's like you can go somewhere and naturally have friends just because you're with your brother. Yeah. But being an only child, it's like you have to go above and beyond and not be afraid to put yourself out there.
And then you're also not like, what at least what I've noticed is that kids who have siblings, like they're kind of like almost practicing to learn how to have friends. Mm-hmm. because you have that person who you're consistently like
communicating with,
connecting with, and building a bond with, and it kind of like already pre-plants that in your mind that like, okay, this is how you act towards people, or like, you know, subconsciously like you're already knowing how to like interact with people. So I assume that like kids who don't have that, and usually like they struggle a little bit to make friends and shit. That's why usually it's like the lonely kids are like the only child, you know, the kids that are like more secluded into themselves are like only childs.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I definitely have my moments, but I was forced to, and then the fact that I came from a single parent household. I had
shout out to moms.
Yeah,
man,
shout out to Mama Dukes, you know what I'm saying? Because she did it all. You know, I give everything to her because she did it all.
Yeah.
But that environment, growing up in that environment, forced me to be like, have to think outside of the box. You know what I'm saying? And I used this example in one of my other interviews. As a kid, I believe I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah. We had this football camp at North Park, which is where I ended up going to school. Yeah. They had this football camp that they took all the high schoolers to and kept them in the dorms for a week, put them in the fucking the dining halls, and just gave them a college
experience.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it cost $300 to go, and I did not have that bread. My mom did not have that at the time. So our old coach, he gave me a big dumbass bag of car stickers that said Panther Pride on it. Yeah. And I sold them bitches for $5 a pop and raised that $300 in a day.
Damn. So you've always had that like that hustle.
I never gave, bro.
You've always driven and shit. Yeah. Like if you really like, I feel like you get that trait has to be developed as a kid. So you've always had that.
Yeah. So I mean, I was the type of kid, bro. Like I was super active. In the summers, I was cutting grass. In the winters, I was shoveling snow. Like I was never the type of kid to just be sitting around. You know what I'm saying?
You just always wanted. You were doing something at all times.
Yeah, facts.
And that's dope as fuck.
And that kind of just
led
into adulthood and shit. Yeah.
And then what like, where do you see your music going? Or like what exactly? So hold on. What are exactly like? Do you want to take the music? I guess.
So for me, I know that I used music growing up as an emotional outlet because of the things that I had to go through and the resources that I didn't have. So music was always a way to connect and be able to heal, because music is magic at the end of the day. For me, it's not about the money because the money will come. You know what I'm saying? It's about the passion. It's about the art. It's about putting as much inspirational art as I can out before I'm gone. Yeah. And it's like I said, the money will come. I would rather be a struggling artist than a 9-to-5 any day of the week. Yeah. Any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I can inspire people is literally like, that's what drives me. When I have people comment on my shit, message me, DM me, and tell me like, man, I felt every word you said, or man, this song got me so hyped, or man, this, like, anytime I bring emotion out of people, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you know, and that's what I like about podcasting too, bro, because I feel like I do that too as well. Like I have people who reach out to me and be like, hey, like you said this about that, and you know, I felt that shit.
That's real shit.
You know, because one of my things, what it really was just like, almost like, you know, just kind of like going about things in an unorthodox way, bro. Kind of just really doing things my way. You know, because like we were talking about like that working that 9-to-5 shit. There's nothing wrong if you want to work a 9-to-5. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, facts. We all got to make a living, but it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And I know that like me personally, I don't want to live in this like thing where like I was telling you, I have to ask somebody to spend time with my family for 5 days a year just so that I come back and have a job and then continue to be able to pay my bills.
Facts.
Like I don't know about you, bro, but that shit don't sit right to me.
No, I don't even have kids and it don't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely
like
understand.
you know, like you sit there and you really get to thinking about shit like damn, like if you as a kid, so like for me, it wasn't really like that my parents weren't supportive and shit like that, because my parents, you know, my dad worked, my mom was like the regular Mexican mom, bro. Like she was just cooking, cleaning all the time. And that's just, her job was to be a mom. My dad's job was to provide and put food on the table, but there was never really that like nurturing of like the creativeness. You know, there was never really like, hey, what do you like to do? You know, like I got home yesterday from work, bro, and my daughter had our whole like little island in our cabinet island in the kitchen with like a drape and a bunch of little pieces of art that she was drawing.
That's right.
And we like to like nurture and encourage that, bro, because that's her outlet. Absolutely. You know, you go to her room, she has like a little canvas, she has a piano, you know, she has all that shit, bro, that we didn't have when we were growing up, because it wasn't traditionally not acceptable, but it wasn't embedded in them. So they weren't really able to give you something that they didn't know, you know?
Facts.
They were just taught like to work hard and
that's the
and
older
do that
generation.
Shit.
The older generation, they all have that mindset, you know what I'm saying? They just fucking break their back, you know what I'm saying? But they provide.
What was your like mom's reaction when you told her like, hey, like I want to pursue being an artist full time and do it?
She like my mom's very supportive in whatever I do.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that everything just kind of happened together. It happened so fast. Like when I tell you I made a transition from being a college football player to being a promoter and rapper within months. You know what I'm saying? Like it was such a quick transition that at first she didn't see the vision. I'm not gonna lie, she didn't see the vision. She was like, "Why are you paying all this money to go to school and play football and do all of this if you want to be a rapper?" You know what I'm saying? Then I left. It was crazy because I left the school that I was at. I decided to go to art school for a summer, and that shit was just not it. Yeah. I learned firsthand that you cannot teach creativity. I just felt like I needed to be in the art atmosphere, but it wasn't for me because it wasn't authentic. I was in there around people who...
You were still stuck in that in that machine.
Exactly.
Of what they're telling you would be like liberal arts, of them telling you like what being creative is.
Exactly.
When being creative for somebody isn't necessarily like 1, 2, 3. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, facts. It took me a little time because I had the time frame where I was truly trying to find myself, because like when I told you that shit happened so fast, bro, with me finding my family to then me leaving North Park and going to art school, and then, you know what I'm saying? Then after I left art school, I went to Nebraska for a semester. And this is wild because so the summer or the winter of 2015, that's when I found everybody. Yeah. We had a year, 2 semesters after college. Me and Alan, we went crazy. We did a lot of shows. You know, we just went crazy. You know. Yeah. Then I went to art school for the semester. I went for like 2 weeks, and then what did it for me was when I was in a class with 3 other people, and 2 of them were asleep. The other dude was just not paying attention. Yeah. And then I'm like sitting here on a 4-hour class, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I literally had that realization, and I'm just like, I returned all of that shit the next day, and I'm like, I dropped out of that class, and then I was
fuck it.
I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I just left North Park. I just left art school. I don't want to go back to North Park because I left for a reason. Yeah. So what the fuck am I do? Then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna move to Nebraska. So I moved to Nebraska.
Out of all places, Nebraska.
Well, that's where my other siblings were. Okay. So I like when I tell you,
is that where your brother Alan grew up?
No. Alan is from Long Beach, California, but he moved here and like when he was like 14. 15. But when my other brother and sister, they're from Nebraska, born and raised in Nebraska. So I went out there, and I went out there literally like a week after I left that art school in the summer, and I moved out there. I was in Omaha for 2 months, and then I went to Lincoln, Nebraska for like 4. Yeah. And it was just a different atmosphere. Like we literally just came back from Nebraska this morning. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy to.
I know we were talking and shit. You were like, "Yeah, I'm in Nebraska doing a show," and I'm like, "Damn, I hope you can make it, bro." Cause
no, we absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's also kind of where I got my start at, because the first phases of Jiggy Bars, like I started in Chicago. The college kid. I was in Chicago at North Park. Then I went to art school. Then I went to Nebraska. When I was in Nebraska, I was pretty much doing the same shit. I was rapping. I was throwing parties, and I was playing football. Yeah. Then I quit after like 3 weeks.
In Nebraska?
Yeah, because it wasn't for me.
Like college or semi-pro?
No, I was playing college football at the university, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for you. Yeah, so I just ended up really just partying the rest of that semester and being just doing rapping shit before I came back to Chicago.
Do you feel like any of like that structure that you got from like being in an organized sport translated well to like just life in general?
Absolutely, especially in the business world, the teamwork, like the punctuality,
discipline,
discipline, teamwork, everybody doing their part, because in football it's 1-11. You know what I'm saying? You're 1 of 11 on that team. You know what I'm saying? If everybody does their part, then you'll get the job done. Right. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody's getting beat by their, you know what I'm saying, by their opponent, then that leaves loopholes and shit. Yeah. So really, I definitely learned a lot from the football aspect. Definitely, just being a team, working with the team. You know what I'm saying?
Who were some of your early on like inspirations of, like in music? Who would you listen to
as a kid, or
as a kid, and then just at today?
So as a kid, I was really exploring into a lot of music. Yeah. Because I listened to a lot of the stuff that my mom listened to, and she listened to a lot of R&B and gospel. So I was really on my R&B wave. Okay. I listened to, I think Confessions was my like favorite album ever, Usher, bro. Yes.
You know what's funny, bro? That's like the first album I ever bought.
Yeah, it makes sense, bro.
That's such a weird thing to fucking say, and it's funny that you say that, because I remember when I first learned about like R&B and rap music, bro, I was like 8.
Yeah.
And it was through my sister. And I think she had just, I don't know if she was away for the summer or some shit like that, but like she had just left all her like CDs and shit. And I was going through her CDs and I found like Confessions by Usher. And I remember just seeing that shit play all the fucking time on TV, on BET, on MTV, and it was just the same shit. And then after that, it transitioned into like Get Rich or Die Trying. And then from Get Rich or Die Trying, it's like, that's when I really just got into like
that time
into
period
rap music,
right
bro.
there was
Into, like,
really what
hip-hop.
inspired me. No cap, because like you said, like
Bro,
Get Rich or Die Trying. I have both of those still at the crib. Both of those albums, bro.
Bro, to this day, I can still rap some of the rap. I can sing along to some of the songs on Usher's Confessions.
Both albums, brother. You know what
I
I'm
swear to
saying?
God, like that's just so weird.
Yeah, because but those like growing up.
Yeah.
And then like what I did was I studied albums. No cap, because like when I was younger, I didn't have like we didn't necessarily have a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? I never had video games, you know what I'm saying? We barely had cable.
Right.
You feel me? So, but we did go to the library all the time.
Yeah.
So
you would open up the little books and look at the writing credits and shit
all
like
types
that.
of shit. I would listen to the music and just listen to them for a while, like I would rent out these albums from the library and have them.
I used to do the same thing in like 6th grade, bro.
Yeah.
I remember, bro, I used to like, I would go back and re-rent the same the Wu-Tang's greatest hits.
Yeah, facts.
For no reason, bro. Just because it's like at whoever I was hanging around at that time, it was just a lot of Bone Thugs. It was a lot of Wu-Tang. It was a lot of this. And then middle school came, and it was just like Gucci Man.
Yeah, right.
And it was Gucci Man,
Lil Wayne. You feel
Lil
me?
Wayne, Waka Flocka,
Right.
all that, bro. And then it was all that until like Chief Keef.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when like the drill music started, and that's where like I started listening to that.
Yeah, facts. Well, yeah, that's where I feel like I get a lot of my motivation from was the R&B, the R&B and gospel side of things, and then rapping. Like I've always been a writer. Yeah, like that's what I went to school for. I got myself accepted into school with scholarships from essays. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been a writer. Yeah. So like, those are two things
they go
put
hand
together.
in hand for you.
That really helped inspire the artist I am today.
And who are you listening to today?
Today, to be honest, bro,
is it like a lot of your music and shit like that?
I mean, I listen to my music a lot, but I have so many dope ass artists in my network that I never need to listen to any of the music that's out now.
Any of the mainstream stuff.
The reason I do is just to keep up with what's going out, like what's hot right now. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't really like start like experimenting in like music, bro, until like I remember like in high school it was a lot of like rap music and shit, and then you always had your little like shit that was on MTV or BET, like the pop punk shit. I knew that I liked some of that stuff, from like it just being hammered into you in the radio and shit like that. And then as like an adult, I kind of like started revisiting. I was like, man, this shit really wasn't that half bad, And then you start really going through it again. Where like you start doing like, okay, like I guess I did like the Fall Out Boy. Right. I guess I did like some of that shit.
I think another thing that has like a big inspiration for me is because like when I was young, all of my mom's side in the family was in Chicago, so we did a lot of driving back and forth, and when we would do that, it was always 107.5. It was always Power 92, and that's as a kid, bro. So like me as an adult, I've been on Power 92 several times. Like I've been on radio stations, fucking dope. So like, but that was the inspiration, like being 8-9 years old, driving into the city, seeing the skyline, listening to Kanye and fucking Common and R. Kelly and all like that shit was inspiration for me. You know what I'm saying? They were. The city of Chicago was a huge inspiration. Yeah.
Bro, Chicago, I feel like is the music is so diverse, bro, but the city is so segregated.
It is.
And I feel like people I'm not from Chicago. Like I tell people that shit all the time because I feel like sometimes people say that, like, you'll be from Waukegan or you'll be from like Round Lake and people will be like, oh, I'm from Chicago because you can't really explain to someone for 5 minutes, hey, I live like 10 minutes north of Six Flags. Like, like, facts. So people just say Chicago. But I stopped doing that when I was like in my early 20s because I really wanted like to differentiate that and be like, nah, I'm from Round Lake. I'm proud to be from Round Lake. Yeah. Facts. But Chicago is a direct influence. So everything that's cool in Round Lake is a direct reflection of what's cool in Chicago. So it's like, and we weren't even that far because like I had family that lived in Pilsen, that lived in Little Village and shit like that. So like on random occasions we'd go out there and would see them, would visit them. So it's like, it was never that far away. Facts. Every Sunday, my mom and dad would take us to the Swamp Rama on Montrose and Ashland. So it's like we were there. Like, we kind of like, me and my brother, we like grew up like going into the city and, buying clothes. And then I would go to those swamp meets, bro, and I would see like all the little mixtapes and shit like that they would have like on the tables. Facts. All the bootleg shit.
Yeah, definitely. Shit.
So
Downtown, all of that shit, bro. It's just inspiration. Like I was just saying earlier, like you're gonna only be. I feel like personally for me, I'm only going to be as inspired as the city that I'm living in. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I can't personally be in Round Lake. I love Round Lake to the death of me. You know, I was raised there. You feel me? But I know as an artist and what I do now, it's too slow for me.
And
you know what I'm saying?
That, like, you know, listening to like other rappers and shit like that, bro, like you start learning that they didn't really get like popping until they left their hometown. Mm-hmm. But you also, there is that importance of like that hometown backing though. No,
that's real
because you got to get hot where you're from first before anybody else will give you a listen. Mm-hmm. If the people where you're from don't even feel like they can fuck with you, nobody else is gonna want to fuck with you.
Facts. You know? That's why I always stay connected to Round Lake. Even though I started my music journey in Chicago, like I come back and I sell out merchandise in Round Lake. Yeah. I still got people that listen to my music in Round Lake. You know what I'm saying? So it's
the same thing with me, bro. Like doing this podcast shit for a few months now, like everybody's like 90% of the people who listen to me are from Chicago or from Round Lake. Mm-hmm. So it's like, at least me personally, bro, I don't ever really try to like, I don't think I would ever like, and I'm not saying that you're doing that, but I'm saying like I would never want to alienate them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So it's like one of those things where it's like I have to like always rep them because in the sense like they get that pride, bro.
Facts.
Like whenever like they see you, or like I know that's how I felt when I saw you doing your thing, and I'm saying, oh, like dude, Chris is popping, like he's doing his shit. Like I had that like sense of like hometown pride, like bro is really from where we're from. So it's like if he could do it, what's stopping me from being like wanting to chase my dreams, bro?
Facts.
And that's how all this shit really just came to, bro. Because I really was just like, one day, bro, I just woke up and I had enough of this shit. And I was like, I'm tired of living in that simulation. And people be looking at me like, you're like, what are you talking about, a simulation? Like, you're literally bred to, bro, to like work, sleep, retire at 65, and then they give you a percentage of the money that you worked for.
Right.
And then
you die.
And then you die. You know, like
what the fuck kind of life does that sound like?
That's not a life that you want to live, bro. Like I see that, like, you know, the things that I want in life. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to be able to, man, let's take the kids to Florida today. Let's go take them to Disney. Let's go do this. Let's go do that.
To be able to have time.
You know, because my parents don't live in state, so I don't have the luxury of just driving down the street and seeing my mom and dad. So it's like I would love to just wake up or plan like, hey, this weekend, let's fly out to wherever my parents live and go see them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's one of those things, bro. Where
that's also important though, because like we know growing up that like parents, they either got time or they got money. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare. It's very rare that they have both.
Yeah.
And with that being said, so a lot of people grow up feeling neglected.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know that I have family that was in better situations financially than I was growing up, but their parents were never there.
Yeah.
They pushed them off. They're like, you know,
I gotta go work.
I gotta work.
I gotta
take
work.
This. Me, on the other hand, it was a little bit of the opposite. Had a lot more time. We didn't necessarily have the finances. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
you guys made a way.
You know what I'm saying?
Mom made a way, you know?
Exactly. You know, and that kind of set me up for the life, you know, of living the starving artist lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
And seeing my dad's like worth ethic, bro, like you said, is what like made me say, fuck it, I could do this 9-to-5 shit until this other shit pops. And I'm just gonna stay consistent in both and, you know, be able to still consistently live, you know, maintain the lifestyle of like my kids, my wife, my mortgage and shit like that, and then still chase my dream.
Facts.
Because people think like, oh, you started doing this at like 25, you're old. Like, no, you're not. Like 25 compared to 100 is like you're barely just a quarter into what your life can be and what your life is.
Real shit.
So it's like that's pretty much what it was for me, bro. I was just like, fuck it, we gotta go get it.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm glad you had that realization. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit, it does put a lot of mental stress on you.
Yeah. Are you a believer in, like, I know you are, but I'm asking for like the viewers and the listeners' sake. Are you a believer in the manifestation of your reality?
Absolutely. I manifested everything that I have today. You know what I'm saying? Literally from me being in college, just thinking about being a rapper. I'm like, man, like before I even found my sound. Just me being who I was, you know what I'm saying, just imagining the things that could happen and seeing the relationships that I already had. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a firm believer in manifestation. So
I used to tell Belinda when we first got together, like, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be famous.
Speak that shit.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I know we're gonna figure it out one day. And I don't know, we'd be sitting in bed, bro, like And when we had first moved out, bro, in our brokest days, I'm talking about like mattress on the floor, apartment in the hood, and we going through it. Mm-hmm. But we stuck it out together. And I remember just saying, this shit's gonna be temporary.
Right.
It's just gonna be super temporary. You know?
That's real shit.
This is just for now. And I feel like I spoke that shit because at 23 we bought our first house. You know? At 23 we had our family. We moved our family into a house. We got out of Round Lake. We went to like, a little bit of a better neighborhood and shit like that. Better schools. So it's like we did that together. We did that because we kept talking about that shit every single day.
Facts.
Not even the days that I didn't want to talk about it, she kept talking about it every single day.
That's
shit,
beautiful that you.
And that shit was like just it manifested itself, and that's why like when I had told her, because we had talked about doing this shit maybe like a year ago. And I used to tell everybody, like, yeah, I'm going to start a podcast. We're going to do this shit. And, one day you're going to see me interviewing some of the best rappers out there and shit like that. And I did it. Right. I said, fuck it. I'm going to just do it. And I did it. And it's like when me and you got into contact, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to just shoot it out there and see if it stick. And then when you agreed, it was like, fuck it. Hell yeah. Like, let's do it.
Facts. So, yeah, man. That's shit. That's dope as fuck, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm definitely proud as fuck of you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. That's a beautiful story. I love to hear it. Both of y'all, man. That's amazing. That story. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you guys manifested this shit, you guys did it together, and we're still doing it because, man, this shit, it's not even written yet. Yeah, this shit ain't even. For you, it ain't even written yet. Facts. So let's get back into you because we're just talking about me. How did you hook up with Canvas? So for people who don't know, this setup, this podcast is being filmed at Canvas. Yeah. So back to the college story. Right. So back when I was in college still, and me and Alan were doing different showcases and just going crazy, he always had the mindset. He always had the idea of Canvas before it was called Canvas. I mean, back then he used to call it Crew, but it was always in his head a collective of artists that are coming together, like interdependent businesses. That was always the mindset for it. And we've always been surrounded by so many dope creatives, from videographers, like, you know what I'm saying? We've had a lot of people come and go, you know, and that's just a part of the process, you know, because people will seem like they're, really about it. And once they get tested, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it shows their true character type shit. So we've had a lot of trial and error. Like the canvas that you're seeing now was not the canvas that, you know what I'm saying,
it wasn't in the beginning.
Like we've always had structure. We've always had talent. We started off hot, you feel me? But we had to go through a lot of trial and error, a lot to get to where we are. So in college, I believe it was 2018, the year that Canvas got established. And so at the time, we were just a multimedia company. This was before the space. This was way before all of this. We were in my brother's apartment at the time, and my ex-girlfriend's attic. You feel me? So we were having our weekly meetings. We were still doing a lot of different shows. We were performing and recording and capturing footage for a lot of different companies and organizations still in 2018, like Soul City Church. It's one of the biggest churches in Chicago. We did a lot of stuff for universities. We had 3 university performances: Northwestern, Northeastern, and North Park University. North Park University, where I went to school and graduated from, we threw our first ever Canvas house party, which had over 250 people there. And so that was literally Canvas artists performing, my brother hosting, and us promoting. And we literally were on the campus, sitting in the dining halls, passing out. We still do this shit to this day. You know what I'm saying? Hand out flyers and talk to people at colleges. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, that's kind of how we got our first event. And that the first ever Canvas house party that we did had over 250 people there.
Damn.
So, and you know what I'm saying? Like
and that's just off of word of mouth.
Exactly. So we started off hot, we built the Instagram. I mean, you can even look back, scroll down 400 posts and see the first Canvas post, and you'll see we're at North Park, you feel me? Promoting and shit. So like, you know what I'm saying? From there, we kind of just kept going, and we just got the right collaborations to help keep us elevating. Relationship. We're huge on relationships,
and that's the thing that people don't know. Like a lot of like the creative space and shit like that, just people who you know. Keeping a good positive relationship and just being a good person, because that shit could take you a lot farther than having money.
Exactly.
Shit can take you so much farther than having money, bro. Just being a good person.
Yeah, if people like you, bro,
Yeah.
you'll go a lot farther
one
than
thing I like
having
about
money.
one thing I like about that story is that you guys treated it like a business even when it was at your brother's house.
Yeah. Real
And
shit.
that shit, like that in itself is cool as fuck to hear, because it's like you guys always took it serious.
Mhm.
That's the part of like where you guys were having. I'm sure you guys have mood boards and shit like that. All
Yeah.
types of shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we always had the right idea from the beginning,
Yeah.
and it was just about bringing in, unifying the company
Yeah.
and bringing in the right pieces.
Yeah, the
So,
right creatives and shit like that. The people who
and
have
that's
the
why I
same
said like
vision.
we've had a lot of trial and error, bro. Like a
Yeah.
lot, and we wouldn't be as strong as we are today if we didn't have all that trial and error. So now we know what to expect when you know what I'm saying. Shit happens.
You
But
kind of
yeah,
get like a feel of people before you even
yeah, definitely.
say yeah.
But that was that was kind of how we got to start. And then going into like the end of 2018, 2019, that's when I graduated from North Park. It was literally like a week before. We had a collaboration event with this label YMG.
Yeah.
And it was we called it The Collective. It was Canvas and YMG. And like, bro, we literally bought the city. It was crazy. It was the first event that we did together. We rented out a big ass warehouse downtown, and like we had like a whole bunch of people popping out,
Yeah.
like radio blogs. We
Yeah.
had King Louie in the building.
That's what's
Sasha
up.
Go Hard.
Yeah.
All the Canvas, like the starting Canvas crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then from there, that's how I ended up getting my management situation with YMG, was from that connection. And then so at that time I was kind of doing a little bit of both. You feel me? Doing whatever I would do at Canvas and then focusing on my own career. And then for like, I would say probably like a 2.5 year stretch, I just went nuts. I was just purely focused on my music, dropping songs, dropping visuals, doing shows, all of that stuff. And I was just completely focused on Jiggy bars. You know what I'm saying? And then just kind of how times, just how everything mapped out, I ended up being back just to be able to help strengthen the community at Canvas. Because like the things that I do now, like I said, everything has a trickling effect. I'm able to bring more clientele, you know what I'm saying? And also be able to help my career as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm able to book us more shows, bring the studio money, and help my career as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm able to bridge the gap between artists and videographers and artists and dancers or whatever it may be. You feel me? But at the same time, I'm still working on my personal brand. You know what I'm saying? Which was...
You're still networking and just meeting people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like there was like I said, there was like a 2-year stretch where I wasn't necessarily with Canvas and I was just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And I needed that. You feel me? Because I came back so much stronger. Like I had so much more value. You know what I'm saying? As when I was with
that you
Canvas,
can bring to the table.
Yeah,
and kind of like establish your worth to what you can bring.
Exactly. Because at first it was kind of like, I mean, I could do what I can do here and there, but it was like, I'm an artist. I need attention for my brand. You know what I'm saying? So it was too conflicting at first.
Yeah.
But like I said, with me taking that 2 years to just go off, you feel me? And now I'm in such a better place that it's like, you know, I'm just able to help the company elevate now a whole lot better, you know? So, now that was, you know, a part of trial and error.
That's dope.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope as fuck. And that's just cool, bro, because it's like, you know, you emphasize like just building relationships, networking, and then almost just like really building yourself up in a way where like you can then leverage that in your own, you know, in your own right. Like, this is what I can bring to the table, and this is what, you know, and then it then help you.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So that's what I'm, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm on right now. And it also helps to be able to, because I was doing a lot of events on my own. And I like I said, I've had trial and error by myself. I've had trial and error with Canvas. But
what are some of the trial and errors?
Just event structure, you know, dealing with all of these different artists is so much different personalities you have to deal with. And sometimes you got to deal with entitlement. Sometimes, like literally, I've had artists literally tell me, you know, like, for example, I had one artist. I'm not going to throw his name out there because it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
But I had an artist who felt like I was pretty much like undermining him or just like pushing him to the side when we had a lineup that was stacked with artists, right?
Yeah.
So he comes in super late, brings 2 people with him, and says that he wants to perform right now. And it's like, well, you weren't here the whole night. You're not even networking. What?
Yeah.
And you're having this energy towards, like, why? Like, who?
Yeah.
Like, who do you? I don't owe you anything. And that, like, when I do things for the community, it's always going to be somebody that wants to challenge it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or be like, you should be doing this, or I deserve more You know what I'm saying? I deserve
Yeah.
more time. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's like, bro, you're not looking at the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Before I was coming back to Lake County and doing events, there was none.
Yeah.
And if there were, it were just promoters trying to make money off of artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with me giving artists opportunity, it's a lot more artists that are going to be a part of it, but it's a lot more personalities you got to deal with.
Yeah.
On top of working with venues, I've never necessarily had any issue working with venues, but it's something that you are going to have to take from and learn something from every event.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's financially or it's show structure wise, is you got to take something from every single show. Like even my birthday show, I had over 300 people there.
Yeah.
But there were still things that I learned from that show.
Yeah.
Moving forward, you know, I got my first headlining show on the 30th, and we're about to pack that place. You feel me?
Plug it. Where you going?
It's at the Wild Hare on the north side in Lincoln Park.
Okay.
Off of Halstead. It's a Jamaican and reggae spot.
Man, congratulations.
Thank you, bro. It's super dope. It's with this concert curation company called Rebel Nation.
Okay.
I linked up with them through another showcase that I did. Again, just networking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knows already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty evident when you have a conversation with somebody and they're speaking the right language. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I've had a lot of trial and error. So when I talk to promoters, I don't waste no time.
Yeah, you get
know
straight
what I'm saying?
to the business.
Yeah, and so
that's all they want to hear too.
Exactly.
They just want to know what, you know. I'm sure some of them just want to know what their bottom dollar is and what they need to bring to the table. And then, you know, likewise with you got certain shit that you need to figure out. And that's it.
And then, you know, with all of this trial and error and then having success, man, I've really learned my worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can say 100%. These last couple of years, I've done a handful of shows that I had no fucking business doing. But because I'm so passionate about it, like, I'm always going to try to see the good in things. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm getting to a point where it's like, I don't have to do any more free shows. I don't have to give any more free slots out. Like, I've built the resume. People see. Yeah. If people are reaching out to me consistently to get on showcases, it's because they see what's happening. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so
that's good, man. Talk your shit.
Yeah, you
talk your shit, bro, because you know, that's how you're building your value, bro, by you telling motherfuckers what you bring to the table, who you are. You know, you walk into the room, you know who you are. You're secure as an artist, as a man, and people are intimidated about that.
Real shit.
Man, you get into a room where somebody's not as secure as you are, and the whole energy will shift. And that's probably what happened with that one artist, bro. That he probably just wasn't secure with himself as a man.
That's exactly
a woman.
What
I don't
it was.
You said artist, and they were probably just intimidated that like they weren't being babied or they weren't being like their hand wasn't being held the whole way through.
They wanted to be on a pedestal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it gets like that, bro, because like, you know, I'll have conversations with like people who are like local rappers as well, and I'll shoot them, hey, bro, like I'd love to have you on the pod, you know, trying to like build with them a little bit, and some will leave me on red, some will just give me the runaround, you know, and shit like that, and it's like, cool, I understand, like you build yourself up, you know, and you feel like you're at X, Y, and Z. That shit just motivates me. Now I gotta work harder. I gotta get the Jiggy bars in here, and I gotta set my standard. Facts. Now I'm setting my standard, and this isn't just for anybody. You know, this is for the people who want to be here, who want to come here, have a conversation, and open up.
Yeah, exactly.
And have a transparent conversation at that, because. And then I get scared too, bro, like wanting to do rappers and shit, because I love music, bro. I've always wanted to like have some type of like influence or like, you know, niche in music. But you get to see like there's rappers, there's artists, bro, that don't talk.
Absolutely. Because nowadays, like, I feel like with the whole wave of artists that got put on, like the Chief Keefs and the, you know what I'm saying? Like, people see that overnight success shit.
Yeah, where he like just, how old are you? 300. 300, and then they want to do that shit to you, but it's like, bro, when Chief Keef did that shit, Chief Keef literally was like fucking Drake at that time when he was doing that shit. It's like, facts. You know,
you got all eyes on him type shit. But 100%. Like, people look at music. A lot of people look at music like it's just a getaway, like, or it's like a get rich quick scheme. Like,
it's not.
Like, people put years. I know people personally that are putting over 20, 30 years into this music industry. You
and are still grinding it out every day.
You feel me? So it's
and those are the people that who I look at and like I respect, bro, because it's like, you know, you never gave up on your dream.
Facts.
You know, your spirit is stronger than what these people are telling you.
Real shit, because you're gonna get a lot of that,
and you're consistently getting better. So as long as you see that improvement and you see that you're getting better with the craft that you're doing, you're on the right path.
Facts.
That's how you know you're on the right path. You're getting better. You know, your audience is growing. you know, shit like that, like consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you know you're on the right path. That's how you know you're not supposed to give up. And this might be what's meant for you.
Real shit.
And sometimes it's not for everybody. You don't know if it's for you or not until you fucking try. But people are too scared to try.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, real shit. It's just about, you know, putting yourself out there, man, and shit. Honestly, just.
Do you have any advice for like someone who hasn't necessarily not necessarily even music, but just someone who wants to be a creative and wants to create content for a living, but it's just that hasn't.
I would say that some advice I would give is just that know that you are a walking business. It's like life works as a business. You feel me? From the moment that you're born in the hospital to the moment that you die and you get buried into
it's a
grave.
business.
Everything is a business. You're
paying a hospital bring you into the earth, to bring you into the world, and you're paying someone to bring you out, put you down back into the world.
Exactly. So with that being said, you as a walking human, like you are, you know what I'm saying? You are a product, and you have to learn how to market yourself. And it's not going to you're not going to learn this in one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you're passionate about, man, just hone in on your craft. If you're an artist, if you're a musician, practice, man. Do writing. Take a lot of time to write. Take a lot of time to practice. If you're a photographer, practice. If you're a videographer, you know what I'm saying? Like, be out there shooting shit. Don't be prideful. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the beginning. Yeah. And you don't have any room to be prideful until you've been doing this shit 10 years. Yeah. If you
put your 10,000 hours in.
Yeah. If you haven't put your 10,000 hours in, you have no reason to be prideful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So take every opportunity to grow.
Bro, I agree.
Take every opportunity to expand, and learning is like, just shut the fuck up and listen sometimes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Build relationships. Sometimes build relationships. Shake everybody's hand.
When you should walk into a room, and then anytime you get an opportunity to network, you should walk into a room like, every person in this room has something for me. Yeah. It's about bringing it out. Yeah. And I have a way to
bring that out.
You know what I'm saying?
Bring that out of people.
And I have a way to benefit from, or people have a way to benefit off of me. You know what I'm saying? It's just about having that conversation and bringing it out. Yeah. So that's how I always think whenever I'm in spaces. Even like, for example, my brother was performing last night. You know what I'm saying? And I just was networking my ass off. You feel me? Yeah. Walking around, meeting new motherfuckers. You feel me? Yeah. Meeting other artists, talking about shit. You know, and that's the type of mentality that you have to have, whatever you're doing. You just, like I said, you can't be prideful. You gotta be hungry. Like it's a job. This is not a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is,
you gotta treat it with just as much as importance as something that is your 9 to 5. Yeah. If you want this to essentially become that,
this shit is way harder than a 9 to 5, but it's way more worth it. You know what I'm saying?
The return investment.
The return investment. The return
absolutely. Of the investment is definitely greater.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And man, it's just it's crazy how at least for me this shit's come full circle. Mm-hmm. You know, it's with having you here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's so weird, bro, because it's like, and maybe a year ago I would never have thought about like reaching out to you and doing this and having this and shit like that, and that's why I did it, because it's like the relationships, you know. I treat it as one of those things where it's like, you know, I want you to know, hey, I'm doing this, bro. So like, if you know anyone who wants to sit down, tell them I do this shit and we can do it. Yeah, so it's like building relationships, really just being able to be like, hey, like, you know, I'm such and such, and, you know, making yourself, and not necessarily like available, you know, being able to maneuver a room, being able to really stand somewhere and be like, hey, I'm David the Capo. I do the We Are One podcast. You know, the podcast, we talk about music, whatever, social, society, all that shit. And that's what I bring to the table. And then later on, you can use that to leverage that and to get you into rooms that doors might not have been open. Yep. You know, because there has been people who have like shut doors before they've even opened on them, because, like you said, they hold they haven't put in the 10,000 hours, but now they walk around with some type of like entitlement, some type of like, you know, I'm worth more than whatever it is. But no, you're not building the right relationships. You're not even allowing yourself into the room. So how are you gonna walk around with such a bravado of you and you know, walk around with such an attitude when you can't even you know, hold a conversation? You can't walk up to somebody, introduce yourself, look them in the eyes and be like, hey, I'm such and such, and this is what I bring.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, if you're putting in the work, you don't even have to do that because it'll come
Facts.
back right back to
You know what
you.
I'm saying? If you're doing your part, people are gonna, you know what I'm saying, gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
Real shit.
Yeah.
But you definitely always have to know how to work a room.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then there ain't no entitlement. You know what I'm saying?
There's no reason for you to be walking around like your shit don't stink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
who is the dream collab?
oh,
It could be anybody. It could be a rapper. It could be a singer. It could be anything. What is the dream collab for you?
okay, so on the videographer side, Cole Bennett.
Lyrical Lemonade.
Yeah, Lyrical
Shout
Lemonade.
out to them, bro.
Yeah, shout out Lyrical Lemonade for sure.
And he had just ran into, I don't mean to cut you off, but he had just run into an issue with, who was it, Rich the Kid?
Yeah.
Where I reached out to him for a video and Cole Bennett denied it.
Mm-hmm.
Or he didn't want to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
And he has all right to do that because he put the 10,000 hours in.
Over 10.
Over 10,000, hours in. And then he created himself, he established himself as a brand.
Yeah.
As someone who he can now be conscious of who he does and doesn't want to work with.
Facts. And I didn't necessarily look too much into that story, but I heard Rich the Kid's response and I wasn't too fond of it because it's like Cole Bennett takes his time to put on people in the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? He takes chances on artists, you know what I'm saying, who don't have a buzz.
YNW Melly, all those guys.
He's broken more artists than any fucking radio station. Like
yeah.
So to say that he doesn't support the culture is like,
it's not true.
Is completely
I completely I agree with you, bro, because I think it was just him being salty.
Yeah, he was hurt.
You know,
He was hurt.
and it's like it's an ego thing, bro.
Yeah.
His ego was shot, and he was like, is because he's white and he does this and he does that and he's a culture vulture.
He could have kept that. He could have kept that comment to himself.
He could have, because if there's anybody, at least in my opinion, and I know that I'm a guest in hip hop, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got to tell me that. I know that, like, when we come into these rooms, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, it's a predominantly black industry, and I respect that. And it's like Cole Bennett respects that by giving back, by showing that good faith in people and shit like that, being able to put people on and just and even just that, but just being really of the culture.
Facts.
And whatever that means to people, because I know that people throw that shit out there all the time. Like, are you for the culture? Some of the people that are in the culture aren't for the culture.
Facts, bro.
Some of the biggest culture vultures in the culture are black, are Mexican, are of like the same people who they say they're trying to defend.
Well, we're gonna end up getting into a whole other conversation talking about this.
And we can go ahead.
No, I was just saying, but like, I just peeped though, like, it is a lot of propaganda in the music industry, and
gatekeeping,
like, and people don't
shit, bro.
people don't realize that, and that's why it's like I keep my separation, from a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And like I had an opportunity for a fucking single distribution deal, and I turned that shit down because I did not fuck with the vibes, and it was in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, like I said, I know my worth as an artist.
Yeah.
So for me to sit here and sign a single deal with the company, like, I gotta have 100% faith in what you guys are doing. I have to feel the energy reciprocated,
because you know what you're bringing to the table.
Exactly. What I bring into the table here is way more valuable than, what I'm saying, what I could bring to the table in Atlanta with people I barely know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I did have that sit down A&R experience, and
Yeah.
it was exactly what I needed.
Is it exactly what everybody says it is? Like, you walk into the room and it's just vultures.
Vultures? Not necessarily.
Because it almost becomes like one of those things where it's like people are scared of the industry, bro. Mm-hmm. People get scared to go commercial and shit like that because they're afraid of being put in that machine where it's like watered down.
Yeah, facts. No, my personal experience with this label is it wasn't anything to do with like culture vulture shit, because it was, black based label, you feel me? But it was just the simple fact of the type of content that they put out, the type of artists that they work with, it just doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying?
The situation wasn't right for you.
Yeah, it's like you going to play on a football team or basketball team, and like you just don't fit with the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The role that you necessarily want to play is already taken by somebody else, and it's not really one of the. And if we're gonna use sports, you're not coming off the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not. That what you bring to the table, you know that you're gonna score your 30 every time.
Facts. I also had another artist that I've worked with a lot personally, and he had the same opportunity. He went down there and they did him dirty.
Same label.
Same label, everything. You know what I'm saying? And he took it a step further and actually went through with the deal and you know what I'm saying? And he just showed like
that. Did you know that going into the situation, or did you find out after the fact?
I found out like a day before I went to meet with him.
Okay.
So
that influenced it.
So that right there, I went into it with a different mindset as opposed to just being like, oh shit, I'm in here with the fucking label. I get to meet with the A&R. I'm like, I was matching energy. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my first A&R experience, and I kind of figured that's how it was going to be. Like, no fluff, straight to it. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of emotion, just straight to it. And I was fine with that. You know, I was clear headed. I didn't smoke. I worked out that morning. I was like, I was on 10. You feel me? So I was ready. And everything that he threw at me, I threw right back to him. So it wasn't like somebody that was, like not passionate about what they're doing. They would have just signed it. They would have just folded. No, I'm saying like that interview. Oh. Like not even.
So it was like an interview process as well?
It was a consultation.
Okay.
So
how do these things work? Like, I'm not a rapper. I'm not really necessarily in the music industry. So how do you go about getting into these rooms?
So this one came through through social media. So they had the specific label. They were, you know, with it being for first quarter at the time, they were looking for new artists. So they had submissions. Yeah. And I submitted. The label hit me back the next day and was like, one of the booking managers from the actual page messaged me and told me to reach out to him and shit. He was just like, I listen to your music. I like what I hear. Let's set up a free consultation. I'm like, shit, let's do it. You know, let's pick a date. We picked a date, February, flew out there. Like I said, I had that conversation with my boy like the day before I flew out there. And so it was kind of like I had that embedded in my head. So when I talked to him,
but that also could have been like his situation.
Yeah, it doesn't. He's a completely different artist from me too. So
that doesn't mean
he's
that
more
that
of
would have
like
been your
a old school hip hop boom bap type shit. So that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't completely like, oh, I'm not like fuck these people 100%. I was just like, I got my eyes open type shit. So when I met with them, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of what I expected. You know, I didn't expect nobody to just be overly gassing me up or for anybody to tell me my shit was weak. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of what I expected. Because I know I put in the work. Everything is there, you know what I'm saying? Like I got the track record to show.
They're reaching out for a reason.
Yeah,
they wanted you in that room for a reason.
And so, but everything that he told me gave me confirmation, and it was like he kept saying, "I see it." Like as he's watching my music video, he's like, "I see it, I see it." He didn't say much, but he said, "I see it." Yeah, the A&R. And what he meant by that is, I see your lane, I see your vision, I see your demographic. Yeah. And he said, what we have that we can offer you is our services. And so he said, let's work for a single. We'll put you through our distribution. We'll record you in our studio. We'll have our videographers shoot your video and our photographers do promo for you. And that's something I just thought about, you know what I'm saying? Took it back with me, talked to my manager, talked to some people about it, and just stayed, you know what I'm saying? I just stayed paying attention too. And also to like their social media, things that they post, the artists that they post. And it's just like, man, this shit is overly fabricated. You know what I'm saying?
How important is that to you?
It's extremely important. Like I would never sign to a label. I'm not like, if anybody thinks I'm signed to a label now, it's not. I'm not signed to a label. I have a management contract.
Which is two completely different things.
Completely different things. And I've been managed for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's my situation. So I was never going out anywhere looking for a label to sign to. I was, looking for the collaboration. Ideally, a single distribution would have been cool if it was more fitting, but there was not. Like those those artists, like I couldn't even make music with them because I would just feel fake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm not sitting there. I'm not in the trap. I'm not sitting here rapping about that dumbass shit. Like and at that, like I wasn't even a fan of any of the music that they had. So it's just like, where do I see myself fitting in? I have a whole community in Chicago. Yeah. Why would I leave Chicago to go out there to, you know what I'm saying, to collab with the label? You could be doing
the same thing over here.
Exactly.
And then there'd actually be people who you fuck with and people whose music you actually like.
And it showed that they don't have a lot of concern for the artist because, like, well, my homie was telling me, it was like he had went through with the distribution and he was past phase 1 and he was talking to the lady and they had no idea he even got past phase 1 and shit. And it's like,
what does that mean
for him? So it like phase 1, it's like, so they'll do it in like different phases. So like the first phase will be like the photo shoot, the studio time. Then the second phase will be like the music video and the fucking marketing or whatever. You know, it's just broken down into phases.
Okay.
Type shit. So he went through the first one, was going on to the second one, and they had no idea that he even made it past the first one. So it's like that right there. They take in so many artists for consultations that I seen that it wasn't a fitting situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need something like catered to my career. If not, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
it's benefiting you more to just do what you do.
Yeah.
Because do you feel like you're doing for yourself what that label could have done for you already?
Absolutely.
So
100%. And I don't even believe, like, the only thing I could possibly like kind of believe that he was saying was maybe their engineers might make me sound a little different, more industry.
Yeah.
Just because I guess they're more up to date on like what's the trending sound inside of the industry. But I go to top tier recording in Chicago, like the top engineers in Chicago.
Yeah.
So really that's kind of invalid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're not really, so you turning that down really didn't even make a difference to you.
No. Yeah. And then plus like I said, there wasn't enough back and forth. You know, there wasn't enough reciprocation. I'm not going to pour into anything that's not pouring back.
Right.
So that's kind of where that situation went.
Do you ever see yourself signing with a label?
Yeah, it kind of just depends, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as I can be authentic to who I am, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind. I would not like sign for a certain amount of time. I would sign for a project.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would do a single deal or album deal. Those are really the only things.
Keep it pushing.
Yep. Do my thing with that label, and if it goes really well and they want to try it again, then cool.
Are 360 deals still a thing?
Yeah, 360 deals are still a thing.
And that's something that you're not.
No, sir. No.
Explain to people what a 360 deal is.
Well, a 360. Well, okay. So first of all, like there's different type of deals. You got a record deal, a 360 deal, and a 360. Well, I start with with the record deal. They can sign you for a certain amount of money, which is pretty much like an advance. Yeah. And you would have to pay that back through your your music streams, your video,
sales,
all of that shit. Sometimes
YouTube money.
Mm-hmm. And then a 360 deal is pretty much like for like a year or whatever the time frame is, and they'll like.
But they're getting everything, aren't they?
They get everything.
They get merch.
They pour everything and they get everything.
They get merch, touring, all
of that. Yeah. So 100% because
why do you think
I can be 100% off of a label keeping the residual from the streaming, because rightfully so. If you're distributing it to the point where it's making that much, take that shit. Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm gonna be rich off of my brand. You know what I'm saying? If I could sell merchandise and get my show money, that's all I want.
Yeah. Why do you think people are so thirsty to sign a 360 deal or artists?
Because
of the circumstances?
They don't understand how important ownership is, and they feel like if they can get their shit out right now, then that's all that matters.
How did you learn how important it was? Did you learn that through trial and error as well, or is that something that you studied going into like before?
A little bit of both. And that's why I said like the situation that I was in, I was never signed to a label, so it wasn't like right off bat, oh, that was the first thing I did. No, I was getting coached up on what to be doing, on how to register, how to register your tracks, how to, you know what I'm saying, how to do all of this music business shit on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need a label type shit. That's the purpose of management in the first place. You feel me? So I was lucky enough or blessed enough to be able to have management and also have industry professionals literally in my family. So it's like, that's
dope.
Yeah, but that 360 shit, no, that
shit's dead.
It's dead. I'm not gonna lie. You'll be much better off trying to get a single distribution or an album. Like I got a homie that was signed to Sony for an album. Yeah. And he used a tour to recoup all that bread. But I mean, he also makes money outside of music that he uses for music and shit. Yeah. So it's so many different variables.
So like all his ventures are just pouring back into his music, and then he's using that.
So he's using that shit to pay the label back when he gets all the money from the tour type.
And then he's still making money and still being able to pay off the label. Yeah. So essentially, a deal is almost like a loan. Yeah. It's just like they give you an advance, you pay it back. Mm-hmm. Is the interest on that shit, or is it just like? It just really depends on the situation.
Depends on the situation. All the terms will be, written out. It all just depends on like I said, the type of deal that you sign, what the label is looking for. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just important to make sure that you're up to date on your terminology, and I would, never do this shit by yourself. You feel me? Always have somebody else looking over shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be somebody that went to school for this shit or whoever, or
just somebody else to get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really not too interested in deals, bro. Like I literally got everything I need. It's just it's gonna take a little bit longer, but I'm having fun doing it. So at the same time,
it's the long road, but it's honestly it's what's fun.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, as long as you're having fun with it, you're seeing the progression. Man, don't fucking matter.
Yeah, and it's like I'm doing this shit through the community, you know what I'm saying, and building up the community. So it's not like I'm just literally sitting here on social media all day. Like, so it's, you know what I'm saying, that it's the factor of being able to really sell tickets, like hard ticket sales. That's the hard ticket sell metric in the music industry is one of the most important metrics, because you can have fucking 100,000 followers, get fucking thousands of views on every single
brought that up. Yeah.
every single fucking post, and then you got motherfuckers from all over the world commenting on your shit. But when it's
not translating into ticket sales, it's not translating into.
I know people personally that have damn near almost 1 million followers that can't pack out a venue.
Bro, it's so funny that you fucking say that shit, because that shit bleeds into like MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll see quote unquote bigger podcasts and shit like that, way more followers than me, but their impact isn't as great as me.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, where like I see that like the interactions on social media, you have X, Y, and Z followers, and I have less than 300, but I'm getting the same amount of likes. I'm getting the same amount of interactions. I'm getting the same amount of more downloads and shit like that. And it's really based off, I'd rather have that. I'd rather have 500 people who fuck with me every single fucking month than to go buy the follows, buy the views, man. I see
never
that shit,
like
that little farm shit, bro. That shit's just so fucking weird, because it doesn't even help you.
It doesn't.
It just, I guess it does show, I guess it gives people the illusion that they fuck with you, but then when you click on the content, you see why there's only really, it kind of like affects the quality of the content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now it's like, if you're gonna buy your little 5,000 likes or your 5,000 followers, it doesn't matter, because it's not gonna translate.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, for me, being a promoter, I'm an artist and a promoter, so that shit wouldn't translate at all. Because if I got fake numbers, like, how am I gonna bring out crowds? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give, like, when I tell you, if I wasn't in the industry, I would not give a fuck about social media. I do it to keep up with Jiggy bars, because I need to. Yeah. You have to have a clean, your Instagram is your online resume.
Yeah.
But for me, like, when I have shows and I'm on the phone. Fuck social media. I'm calling people. What you got going on?
Yeah.
I'm literally talking to motherfuckers, bringing up conversations, talking to people. Like, that's the real way to bring people out. That's the real way to engage with people, because social media, like, my people will literally come in, drop fire emojis just to support. That's, you know what I'm saying?
And shout out to Canvas, because they've been doing the same shit with me. You know, the moment that me and you linked up, like, I already started seeing the support and shit like that. So it's like, that I fuck with that heavy, bro, because it's like, it makes me feel comfortable knowing that, like, okay, now I have this space. I can use this space as well, just as like anybody else.
Facts.
You know?
And we'll definitely chop it up, man, more about that, because I really want you to be able to utilize this shit, bro. I want you to take off with this shit. And I'm telling you, like, the second that we post content, it's a wrap, bro. Yeah. It's a wrap. Because
I appreciate you, bro. Do you have anything coming up? You got anything you're working on? Anything you want people to check out?
Man, shit. I just got this show coming up on the 30th at the Wild Hair. In Lincoln Park, Chicago. So
send me the flyer, send me the information.
Yeah, I'll send you the flyer and the info for that shit, because it's gonna be a hell of a show. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're really putting on for this one. Got a 30-minute set, bro. I've never performed for 30 minutes.
And that's just, man, that shit's like
serious. I'm finna go hit the treadmill as soon as I leave here.
Oh God, bro. I appreciate you.
Oh God.
I appreciate you taking the time to sit with me, bro. I appreciate being able to share the space with me and just really, you know, having my back on this, bro.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
You know, bro.
I appreciate it. You know, thank you for everybody for tuning in and watching. There's gonna be a lot more of these coming. Make sure you guys follow Jiggy Bars. I'll link him in the descriptions and all that. I'll link Transcend. I'll link everybody. Make sure that you guys connect. Follow these guys. These guys are amazing people. They're really good people. And, you know, follow the We On One podcast on Instagram for more updates and behind the scenes.
We on one.